Hey guys, I hope that I'm live right now. If you guys are able to listen to me properly as well as there's no issues with the audio or the video, please let me know, guys. Hello everyone, I hope that I'm live right now. If you guys are able to listen to me properly as well as there's no issues with the audio or the video, please let me know. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Good evening. How are you guys? How was your day? How are you guys? How was your day, guys? How are you guys? How was your day, guys? Please let me know. It was okay. Day was good. That's great, guys. That's great. Okay. So, okay. Can you guys let me know, guys, what have we studied in our yesterday's class? Can you let me know what have we studied in our yesterday's class, guys? So I was not able to fill out the attendance for yesterday's Python and deep learning bootcamp because of family issues. Will I get the certificate or not? Please reply. And I have filled past day's attendance. See, if your attendance is missing for a day, but you have, so every day we have one or two attendance that we take up regularly. So for rest of the attendances, if you have been filling it up properly and there are no issues right over there, then we will take that into consideration. Okay, if there is an absence of one attendance. Okay, but if we feel that you have been irregular and there is some issues with your attendance at any point of time, your answers are wrong for the attendance itself, for every single attendance or for most of the attendances, then you are not going to get the certificates, because we need to make sure that only students that are regular and really deserve the certificates are able to get it. So that is the reason why this will happen. Okay, if there are some problems, then of course we'll take in into consideration as well. So you don't have to worry about it. Okay. Okay. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know, guys. Good. Okay, so let's get started right away, guys. So what we are going to do, okay? What we are going to do in today's class is that it is pretty simple. You don't have to worry about it. We will be learning, we will be starting to learn the theoreticals of deep learning from today onwards. Okay, so today is day 4. So we will be spending day 4 and half of day 5 to learn the theory of deep learning. Once we have learned most of the theory that involves in deep learning, then we will proceed further with your hands-on practice in deep learning as well. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know, guys. The project will be done on the day 7 of the boot camp. Okay, so I hope that you are familiar with that. Okay, are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know, guys. Great, amazing. So let us get started. Give me a second or two to verify something. Okay, give me a second or two to verify something, guys. I need to check on something if it exists or not, because I have really forgotten about it. So it will take me a second or two to verify something. Once I've verified that, then we'll start with the class. अभी आ रहा है. Hey guys, am I audible right now? Please let me know. Hey guys, am I audible right now? Please let me know, guys. Okay, in the middle of the stream itself, the internet just got closed. Okay, I don't know why, but the internet from its source itself just got closed. I don't know what happened, but now it has started working. Okay, so okay, now I'm audible. So one thing I wanted to check, let me check that particular thing. If it is working, then there is no issues. We can get started with the class. Give me a second, guys. Arey yaar. Give me a second, guys. Okay, so it is not here. Okay. So there are some notes associated with today's class, guys. I will have to download those notes. Give me a second, guys. Give me a second. I will have to download those notes. Let me find those notes, guys, because I also don't remember where those notes are. It will take me 1 or 2 minutes to find them. But the machine learning notes, where is the deep learning? Is this the one? Let me open it up in a new tab. That is for RNN, so RNN won't work. Well, I'll just open this one. And okay, so let us utilize this for right now to understand stuff. Let me download this notes. Download PDF standard, PDF print, all pages, RGB. I'm just downloading the notes, guys. Give me a second or two. Let me open up the live chat on my mobile phone, guys. Yesterday I was trying from 7:20 p.m. sir till still wasn't able to fill the attendance form. I messaged DevTown on WhatsApp, on Instagram, but the issue, no one responded. Dishant, no one responds because let me just show it to you guys. The attendance always works. Okay, it is never a point when the attendance is not working. It is just not possible that the attendance is not working. So if you guys are messaging us that the attendance is not working, we'll just ignore you because we know that the attendance is working. There's never a time when the attendance is not working. And as we are able to see right over here as well, you are able to see that almost 993 people have worked filled up the attendance form. So either it's the case that all these 993 people are people from DevTown who took up the time to come and fill up the attendance just to show it to you guys that you were not able to fill it. Okay, either we are lying or you are lying. Okay, and the probability that we are lying is very less because almost 1,000 students have filled up the attendance. Okay, so the attendance form always works. There's never a time when the attendance form is not working. So if you are asking us that this is not working, then we cannot do anything about it. Okay. Okay, so that is also done. The next particular thing that I was saying is I've downloaded the PDF as well. I'll just ask Kanish to upload the PDF. Okay. Okay, Kanish, subject, notes for Python and deep learning camp. Load. Please load the attached notes to for sources when it works when and change the name of the camp. Okay. So as you're able to see right over here, I've prepared some notes for you so that it becomes easier for us to learn the same as well. Okay, so I've prepared some notes for you guys so that the learning the theoretical portion becomes easy for us, as you're able to see right over here. Okay, are you guys able to see this? Please let me know, guys. Are you guys able to see this? Please let me know, guys. Great. Now these notes will be made available to you guys on the Discord channel. Okay, so for example, this is the video that you are currently watching. Okay, within a few hours itself, it will be uploaded on the Discord channel, guys. As you're able to see, this is the video that you guys are currently watching. Okay, if you go down to the description of the video itself, you will find a link to the Discord channel. Okay, you'll find a link to the Discord channel. So you guys can click on this particular link. Let me open it up in a new window itself. Okay. So as you're able to see, if you open up that particular link inside of your browser, it will take you to the Discord channel of DevTown. Our Discord channel of DevTown is the second largest and the fastest. So the second largest and the fastest in the entire country related to growth, related to education itself. So right now we are at the second number in terms of the number of members, but in terms of the growth itself, we are at the first position in the entire country. So you can join the Discord channel from right over here. Once you have joined the Discord channel, okay, you can just scroll from right over here into your resources. Okay, into your resources. Soon there will be one more link right over here called as Python and deep learning. Okay, soon there will be one more link right over here called as Python and deep learning, and the PDF will be there. Okay, we'll be able to download the PDF from right over there itself. Okay, so that will be uploaded within the next few hours. Okay, so you don't have to worry about it. The PDF won't be available anywhere else. Okay, it won't be sent on Telegram channel or get a WhatsApp or somewhere else as well. It will only be made available. Okay, it will only be made available on the Discord channel and nowhere else. Okay, it will only be made available for the Discord channel and nowhere else, guys. Okay, so now once that has been done, let us start with the learning process. Okay, let me open this up in Edge. Okay, So let's start with deep learning. Okay, now deep learning, the foundations of deep learning is built on some concepts called as neural networks. Okay, it is built on a concept called as neural networks. Now, back in 1940s and 1950s, there was this obsession. Okay, when it comes to AI or artificial intelligence, there was a kind of obsession in the minds of the researchers to create something. Okay, they defined artificial intelligence as to create a program that is having like human level of intelligence. Okay, but artificially. Okay, to be able to create a program that is having human level of intelligence but artificially. Now in this particular sense, okay, in this particular sense itself, if you think about it, how do humans have intelligence? Can you guys let me know which particular body of our, like which particular part of our body makes us intelligent? Can you guys let me know which particular part of our body makes us intelligent, guys? Can you guys let me know? Brain, exactly. So brain makes us intelligent. Okay, so how to recreate the entire brain artificially? So according to these researchers, they believed that if they were able to create the brain artificially, they will be able to create something that resembles human intelligence. Okay, that resembles the qualities and quantities of human intelligence. Now brains is basically made up of neurons. Okay, you must be familiar with that. When you were studying your biology in biology classes itself, you must be familiar that brains are made up of neurons. Am I right or wrong, guys? Please do let me know. You must be familiar with the fact that brains are made up of neurons, which look something like this. This is neurons, neurons, biological neurons that exist inside of the brain. Are you guys familiar with this? Please let me know, guys. Are you guys familiar with this? Please let me know, guys. Great. So these neurons basically they have some parts. Okay, dendrites, axon, and nucleus. So this basically this hole in the middle is called as nucleus. Okay, it has these dendrites that are there. Okay, and it has these axons. Okay, I also don't remember all these parts. Okay, I'm just like pitch bowling it. I might be wrong with the name as well. This is something that I had studied back in 8th standard, so I also don't remember it very accurately. But we all know one of the things that neurons basically work between electricity and chemistry. Okay, neurons basically use work between electricity and chemistry. Now electrical impulses are brought in from all the way. Okay, electrical impulses are brought in from these dendrites that are there right over here. Then in the nucleus some computation happens. Okay, in the nucleus some computation or decision making process happens, and that decision is then carried forward through these axons and transmitted further. This transmission can be done to a particular another neuron. Okay, it can be done to another neuron or even muscles. Okay, that telling muscles that okay, contract or expand or whatever the case is. So these neurons is how the entire body functions. Okay, these neurons are present in our brain, in our body, and it basically makes the entire decision making process for us. So these researchers, okay, try to implement the same ideas of neuroscience to computers. Okay, try to apply the same ideas of neuroscience to computers as well, which we will see in the next 5 minutes. Now this particular entire neural networks is commonly used in like self-driving cars and like recommendation systems. So self-driving cars is like Tesla. Okay, so Tesla cars are based on self-driving cars. Google self-driving cars are there. These are all based on neural networks itself. Recommendation systems. So for example, when you're watching movies on anime on Netflix, it recommends you some more stuff. even when you are using Amazon, okay, to order particular products, it recommends you some other products that too uses neural networks itself. Then you are having your fraud detection, and so for example, if you are sitting at your home and in the middle of the night your card starts swiping in like somewhere in US, your bank will automatically block the card and call you up that your card is being used somewhere else. Is this transaction something that you are doing? So that entire fraud detection system is also built using neural networks itself. Okay, they are also used in other successful tasks such as voice recognition. For example, Siri is able to recognize your own voice. Okay, it is used in your facial recognition that works in your phones as well. It is used in natural language processing. So Siri and Google, okay, Google is able to understand what you are trying to say. So that is also that comes into natural language processing itself. And there are just so many more applications when it comes to neural networks. Okay, so let us try to understand what these researchers did. So the exact same thing, okay, getting like inputs from the dendrites, processing the inputs into the nucleus, transmitting it further to other neurons. Okay, that is what the biological neurons did. And in the similar way, these researchers try to recreate these biological neurons mathematically. Okay, they try to recreate these biological neurons mathematically. Okay, so if your basic maths is okay, you will be able to understand this. Your what I'm expecting is you should be able to know at least 12th standard mathematics. Okay, you should be able to understand at least 12th standard mathematics. Will that be fine with you guys? Please let me know. Will that be fine with you guys? Please let me know, guys. 12th standard mathematics, will that be fine? Great. So recreating this using maths, it was very easy. You are having the nucleus right over here. Okay, you are having the nucleus right over here. You want to take in inputs from outside. You want to take in inputs from outside. Okay, and you want to produce a result. Okay, you want to produce a result. Now let us take in the inputs as x1 and x2. Okay, let us put up the inputs as x1, x2, and let's take up one more input, x0. Okay, so x1, x2, and x0. These are the three inputs that we are currently getting. Okay, now how many of you guys know what is a linear equation? Okay, linear equation in two variables. This is a constant. Okay, this is a constant. This is not a variable. Okay, constant. Okay, x1 and x2 are variables. Okay, x1 and x2 are variables. Can you guys create a like an equation, a linear equation in two variables using x comma x1 comma x2? Okay, can you guys create a linear equation using two variables, that is x1 comma x2, guys? Now this basically creating a linear equation in two variables is from, I guess, so 9th standard. Okay, not even 12th standard mathematics, 9th standard mathematics. 9th standard mathematics, guys. Linear equation in two variables. The first person, so even after this much time, the first person who was able to write the correct answer was Shivendra Singh. Okay, the only one person was able to provide me the correct answer, Shivendra Singh. Although he was not able to use x1 and x2, but his answer was correct. This is all that you need to know. Okay, linear equation in two variables, 9th standard mathematics. If you don't know that, you are in deep trouble. Okay, you cannot learn this right now when you are in college or something, or diploma. 9th standard mathematics, you should be familiar with that. So creating an equation, linear equation in two variables, it will be ax1 plus bx2 plus c is equals to 0. That is a linear equation in two variables. Okay, where x1 and x2 are the two variables itself. Thank you so much, Shivendra Singh, for the first correct answer. It's really refreshing to see that you guys are able to understand this very clearly. Okay, that's good. DevTown, that's absolutely clever. Okay, that not knowing linear equation is a disaster for linear neural networks. Okay, and that is like 8th and 9th standard mathematics, so I don't even understand why you guys don't know it. Okay, so now the exact same thing. Okay, this equation, we need to fit it up right over here in this diagram. Okay, we need to fit it up right over here in this diagram itself. So what we are going to do right now is we are going to have x naught as c, because just to make sure that it looks the exact same. Okay, so we'll have x naught as c. Okay, here you are having the constant. Okay, you are having for x1, you are having a, you're multiplying x1 with a. You are having we'll just remove this variables and constant to make it a bit more like approachable. Give me a second, guys. So right over here, you are multiplying a with x1, you're multiplying b with x2, and you are adding it up. Okay, you're adding all these things up. So this is the sign for summation, sigma. You are adding these things up, and the output that you are able to get is ax1 plus bx2 plus c is equals to 0. That is the output that you are able to get. Okay, that is the output that you are able to get. Are you guys able to understand this? Of course, this is not equal to 0. We don't want it to be equivalent to 0, but you will be getting, okay, you will be getting the answer as, again erase this. So the answer that you will be able to get, okay, let me just remove everything from the screen, guys. So the answer that you are able to get right over here is ax1 plus bx2 plus c. That is the answer that you are able to get from right over here. A linear equation in two variables where x1 and x2 are your inputs and c is your constant, and c is your constant right over there. Okay, are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know, guys. So this was the very first neural network. So representing a neural network, neuron. Okay, not even a neural network, a neuron. Mathematically, this was the very first implementation of it. Okay, this was the very first implementation of it. Okay. We will be like learning about something more as well. So now when you think about biological neurons, okay, when you think about biological neurons are connected to and receive electrical signals from other neurons as well. Okay, so your biological neurons that are there in your mind, okay, they are connected to each other. Okay, they are connected to each other and they receive electrical signals from other neurons, and they process input signals that can be activated. Okay, so for example, maybe one of the neurons is like, okay, I will not be transmitting this particular electrical signal any further. Okay, some neuron will be like, okay, I will be transmitting this electrical signal at much more like a higher amplitude than before. Okay, somebody will be able to suppress that particular amplitude while transmitting it to the next neuron, and so on and so forth. So how it is being activated, how the neuron is getting activated, we don't know, but that is how neurons work. Okay, that is how neurons work. Okay, so the question arises, can we take this biological idea of how humans learn and apply that to the machines as well? Okay, and as we have shown it to you guys, we did try to make these biological neurons artificially by first creating the mathematical equation behind it. Okay, first create the mathematical equation behind it. And that we termed it as artificial neural networks. Okay, these artificial neurons that we connected, and then using that we were able to create the artificial neural networks. That is a mathematical representation of the human brain to some extent. Okay, to some extent, not exactly, but to some extent itself. So that okay, let me see. So artificial neural networks model mathematical functions from inputs to the outputs based on the structure and parameter of the network. Okay, so we will be discussing this at a later point of time. Okay, notes added in Discord. Okay, so the notes have been added to the Discord. I don't know about it. Please do check and let me know. I will just check it right over here itself. Copy link address. Sure. Paste. Go to site. Accept invite. Okay, so as you're able to see, the notes have been added in the Discord channel. Okay, as we're able to see right over here, if you want the access to the notes, okay, we have added the notes to the resources bootcamps. You will be able to see Python and deep learning. If you are scrolling down below, be able to see Python and deep learning right over here, and we have uploaded the notes. You can just download the notes from right over here and you will be able to use the same as well. Okay, are you guys able to understand this? Please do let me know, guys. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. Great. So let's continue from right over there, guys. So let us try to understand the similarities and the differences between a biological, and the notes won't be provided anywhere else, guys. Okay, the notes won't be provided anywhere else. It will only be available on the Discord channel. So please do not ask me about it. Okay, the notes will only be provided in the Discord channel itself. Okay, so let us try to understand this. Right over here, this on the left hand side you are having a biological neuron, on the right hand side you are having a artificial neuron that we saw right now. Okay, the one with the submission in inside of it. Okay, the one with the submission inside of it. So that is an artificial neuron that we had created. Now, just like biological neurons, how biological neurons are connected to each other. Okay, just like biological neurons, how biological neurons are connected to each other, in the similar way the artificial neurons are also connected to each other. Okay, these artificial neurons can be connected to each other to talk to each other as well. Similar to that, okay, for example, if you're having some input x1 and x2, okay, you can use some input attributes to predict the death in Titanic as well. For example, a particular person, how many bedroom was that particular person, male or female? Okay, was that particular person male or female? Okay, that is the first input that we are having. The second input that we are having right over here, the second input that we are having is maybe the age of that particular person. Okay, the first input is whether that particular person was male or female, and the second particular thing was the age of the person itself. And using these attributes, we can predict if that particular person died on Titanic or not. Okay, we can predict if that particular person died on Titanic or not. So this is how, like, these are some of the examples where your neural networks can be used. Okay, in order to determine this hypothesis function, we need to determine what weight should be in. Okay, so to be able to, so if you remember the output that we are able to get from the neuron, the h of x1 comma x2, that is the function that we have created, the h of x1 comma x2. Okay, so here it is x1. Okay, here is x2, and the inputs that we are taking, the weights, okay, that we are taking in is you are having w1, w2, we call them as weights, and w0, okay, we call them as weights right over here. So x1 and x2 are the inputs. These are the variables that we are having. So x1 might be the gender of that particular person, x2 might be the age of that particular person. Okay, that is the variable that we are having, and we need to figure out what should be the value of W0, W1 and W2 to give us the answer that we require. Okay, the correct answer that we require. Are you guys able to understand this? Please do let me know, guys. Are you guys able to understand this? Please do let me know, guys. You guys able to understand this? Please do let me know. Great. So now the point is, for example, if you want to predict, okay, if you want to predict if a particular person lived or died, okay, if the particular person had lived or died, okay, from the gender and age of that particular person, what should be the value of outputs that should be acceptable for us? What values of output is this acceptable for us, guys? W represent what? Previously we were using A, B, C. Okay. Now we are using W0, W1 and W2. As simple as that. We are just change the representation right over there. Okay. Can you guys let me know if I want to predict? Okay. If we want to predict if a particular person has lived or lived or died on your Titanic, what is the value? Okay, what is the acceptable value that we can get in the output, guys? What can be the acceptable output that we can get out of this, guys? Mahesh, sir, I cannot understand this concept. Why we should learn this? Okay, why should you learn this? Because the name of the bootcamp is deep learning, and in deep learning, neural networks is how deep learning actually works. Okay, behind the scenes, you use neural networks to do deep learning. You have to learn deep learning to learn deep learning itself. Boolean values, right? If we want to get the answer as if a particular person lived or died, okay, your input is your gender and your age. Okay, your input is your gender and your age, and you want to get the answer as if a particular person lived or died. Okay, so what should be the acceptable values that you can accept as your output? So that values will be a Boolean value, either 0 or 1. 0 means he is dead, 1 means he has lived. Okay, that should be the output values. Am I right or wrong, guys? Please do let me know. Open up your brain. Okay, open up your brain. Understand this. Just don't think about neural networks. If you are having a linear equation in two variables, where the value of one variable is the gender of that particular person, the value of another variable is the age of that particular person, and the answer basically predicts whether that particular person lived or died. Okay, so what is the range of values that the output should be acceptable to us? Either 0 or 1. Okay, either 0 or 1. None. If it is 1, that means he has lived. If it is 0, that means he has died. So now there's a very big problem. If you are having a linear equation in two variables, how to make sure that the answer that we are able to get is either 0 or 1 and no other value? How to make sure that the answer that we are able to get is either 0 or 1 and no other value? Can you guys think about something? How to make sure that our answer is either 0 or 1 at the end? Can you guys think about something? Please let me know. Can you guys think about something? Supply brains. Okay, it's not related to programming at all. Okay, it's not related to programming at all. You have to use mathematics. You have to use mathematics right over here. You have to use mathematics right over here. Okay, there is no programming right now. We will not be even going into programming up till tomorrow. Okay, our second half of the class. It's just going to be mathematics up till then. Okay, it's just going to be mathematics up till then. This is what machine learning, deep learning, artificial intelligence is, maths. Okay, coding is just a very small part of it. threshold value. So one value I'm able to see it very clearly. Okay, so Sudhan Rajkumar is very close to the answer. That is the threshold value. So Sujan Rajkumar, that's good. Okay, I really appreciate that you are using your brain. Okay, so threshold value is very close. Okay, very close to the answer that I was expecting from. So let us try to understand it. Okay, let us try to understand it. So what happens right over here is you are having this particular neuron. You are taking in the input from outside. Okay, you're having W1, W2, you're having W0. Okay, all this now we are going to create two separate halves for this neuron, two separate computations for this neuron. The first particular one, first you are taking in the inputs x1 and x2. You are summing it up. Okay, you are adding it up to produce h of x1 comma x2. Okay, so the first half you are creating the summation, that is summation which creates h of x1 comma x2, and the next half you are going to apply the activation function. Okay, the next half you are going to apply the activation function. Okay, so let us try to understand what this activation function will be. Okay, so you will apply the activation function on h of x1 comma x2, which will result in a new function. Okay, which will result in a new function, that is g of, okay, or a of, okay, if you want to use the same word. Okay, if you have applied the activation function, let us use the same word itself. It will result to you in an answer that is a of h of x1 comma x2. That is what will happen. Okay, a is another function. A is called the activation function. Okay, a of h1 comma x2. Okay, that is the function that we were having before that. Okay, so let us look at the activation function that we'll be applying right over there. Okay, this is the activation function that we'll be using. G of x. Okay, I'm using white color and I'm like, why is it not working? Okay, so as you're able to see, this is the activation function we'll be using for the above example. Okay, g of x is equals to 1 if x is greater than equal to 0, and 0 if x is less than 0, a step function. The name of this particular function, as you're able to see from right over here, is step function. As you're able as you're able to see right over here, okay, you are having this is called as a step function. Okay, so what we want to do right over here is, this x is basically your output. There first you're calculating the summation. You're getting h of x1 comma x2, whatever the value is. Then this is you're passing in as an input inside of this g of x. Okay, right over here, as you're able to see, first we are doing the summation to form the h of x1 comma x2, whatever the value comes up right over there. Okay, whatever the value comes up right over there, that we apply inside of this particular activation function as a input. Okay, so g of h of x1 comma x2. Okay, if that value is greater than equal to 0, then the answer is 1. If that value is greater than equal to 0, then that value is 1. If it is less than 0, then the value is 0. Okay, are you guys able to understand this? Please do let me know, guys. Are you guys able to understand this? Please do let me know, guys. Are you guys able to understand this? Please do let me know. This is very important to understand. Okay, this is very important to understand, guys. So that is how in this particular example there can be multiple step functions that you can use. Okay, sorry, multiple activation functions are there. In this particular example, we are using the step act function. Okay, in this particular example, we are using the step function because we want to predict the answer that we want to get is either 1 or 0. Either a 1 or 0 and nothing else. Okay, either 1 and 0 and nothing else. So in this particular case, whatever the value is of h of x1 comma x2, whatever the value is coming, let it be 1100 and something. whatever the value is 11,000, okay, whatever the value is coming, we'll feed it to an activation function that is g of x1, g of h of x1 comma x2. That is whatever the value, right, that is there. That is g of 1 1 0 0. That will always be either 0 or 1. That will always be either 0 or 1. So that is the beauty of this activation function. See, Nikita, if you're still not able to understand it, I don't know how I can make you guys understand this. Okay, I think so you will have to rewatch the entire video, because this is the most easiest way I can make you guys understand this. I'm using examples, I'm using mathematics, I'm combining them. I'm not going pure mathematical way itself, so that you guys are able to understand. I cannot repeat myself, because then I have to start from the utmost basics once again. We cannot like waste our time on this. Okay, so you're having h of x1 comma x2, whatever the value that they are producing, we want to predict whether a particular person has died or lived. We want the answer to be either 1 or 0. A linear equation in two variables, okay, a linear equation in two variables can give me any answer. It can be 1, it can be 0, it can be 100, it can be 1000, it can be a particular like decimal point number as well. Okay, it can be any value, but the final answer we want to get it as either 0 or 1. Okay, either the particular person has lived on the Titanic, that is 1, or the particular person died in the Titanic, that is 0. So what we have done is, whatever output that we are getting, so the input was x1 comma x2, we did the addition, we got the h of x1 comma x2. Now once we have got the h of x1 comma x2, we'll feed it to an activation function. The output, okay, whatever value we are getting from right over there, we'll feed it to an activation function. This is a step activation function. Okay, this is a function in which the value can either, the output can, whatever input, whatever the value of x is, whatever the value of x is, okay, whatever the value of h of x1 comma x is, okay, we don't care about it. The output will always be either 1 or either 0. Okay, it can either be either 1 or either 0. It cannot be somewhere in the middle, as you're able to see from this function. Learn, like looking at a particular graph, I think so people should be able to understand what this function is. So whatever the value of h of x1 comma x2 is, on the x-axis you are having h of x1 comma x2. Whatever the value of that is, the answer will always be, the output will always be either 1 or either 0. Okay, and nothing else. As simple as that. And this is how you represent it from a pictorial standpoint as well. You're having W0, W1, W2, you're having X1 and X2. First half, you're doing the summation to produce h of x1 comma x2. And in the second half, you're applying the activation function. So you're getting a of h of x1 comma x2 as your final answer. And this final answer, because this activation function here was a step activation function. Okay, it was a step activation function. So the answer will always be either 0 or 1. The answer will always be either 0 or 1. Okay. I've never told this that the input is 0 or 1. We don't know. Okay, we don't know what the input is. Okay, maybe you are taking in the rain that is coming up for that person, or the where the particular person belongs to. I'm not talking about inputs. I want the answer to be 0 or 1. I'm not talking about inputs, Gaurav. Do not confuse. I'm just talking about the output. The output should be 0 and 1. Okay. So similarly, there are other activation functions as well. Okay, there are other activation functions as well. For example, this is called as the sigmoid activation function. Okay, this is called as the sigmoid activation function. Maybe you don't want the answer to be if the particular person has lived or died. Okay, you don't want the answer to be that. You want the answer to be what is the probability. What is the probability that the particular person survived the Titanic? Based on the inputs that I'm taking in, what is the probability that the particular person survived the Titanic? This is the question, guys. Okay, so what you want the answer to be a probability. If you want the answer to be a probability, then what is the value that you can expect from the output, guys? What is the value that you can expect from the output, guys? If I'm asking you a question that what is the probability that a particular person lived or died on the Titanic, okay, then in that particular case, what is the values that you can expect from that? What is the output that you can expect from that particular question? In percentage, absolutely wrong. I'm talking about probability. If you're talking about percentage, then you don't even know what is the difference between probability and percentage. Okay, the answer will be between 0 and 1. The answer will be in between 0 and 1. That is where the probability exists. Okay, between 0 and 1, we want our answer to be. So in that particular case, the activation function that you will be using will not be a step function. It will be a sigmoid function. This is the function that we'll be using as an activation function in that particular case, guys. The sigmoid function is basically 1 upon 1 plus e to the power minus x. This is the formula for the sigmoid function, and it looks something like this. So if the value of h of x1 comma x2 comes right over here, if x1 comma x2 comes right over here, then you just have to put it out right over here and check the corresponding value. So the output that you will be able to get will be around 0.75. That is 0.75. That will be the probability that the particular person has lived or died on the Titanic. Okay, so this is how these sigmoid functions are being used. Are you guys able to understand this activation function? Are you guys able to understand this particular activation function? Please do let me know, guys. Are you guys able to understand this? Please do let me know, guys. Okay, I will be telling you right now that the attendance, okay, the attendance will open up at 7:15 and will close at 7:25. Okay, the attendance will open up at 7:15 for today and will close up at 7:25, guys. Okay, it will open up at 7:15 and will close up at 7:25. Set an alarm for 7:14. Set an alarm for 7:15. Set an alarm for 7:25. Okay, great. Now, this is another activation function that is there, that is called as the ReLU activation function. Okay, this is another activation function that is there, that is called as the ReLU activation function. Now, what if in the case, okay, what if in the case of I want to predict, okay, what is the price of a house? Okay, I want to predict what is the price of a house on the basis of number of bedrooms that it has, okay, the locality that it is in, okay, based on all these inputs, I want to predict the price of a house. Okay, so can the price of a house be negative? Can the price of a house be negative, guys? Can you guys let me know? Can the price of a house be negative? No, it can never be negative. Secondly, is there a limit to the price of a house, guys? Is there a limit to the price of a house? There's no limit to the price of the house as well. So that is where another activation function that is called as the ReLU function is being used. The ReLU function basically states that f of x, okay, is equals to max of 0 comma x. So if x is less than 0, okay, if x is less than 0, as you're able to see, then the value will always be equal to 0. If the value of x is less than 0, then the value f of x will always be 0 itself. And if the value of f of x is positive, okay, then the value would be equal to x. Okay, then here y is equals to x and here y is equals to 0. Okay, so these are the two equations that are there that combine together to form ReLU function, and we write it down as max of 0 comma x. We write it down as max of 0 comma x. That is y is equals to 0 and y is equals to x. Okay, are you guys able to understand ReLU function? Please let me know, guys. Great. So we can represent our new function. Activation function can be thought of as an another function g that gets applied to the result of this computation. We're having g of w0 plus w1 x1 plus w2 x2, and that is the final result that we are able to get. That is the final result that we are able to get. Okay. So this is how we can represent it mathematically. Okay, so x1 comma x2, that is the inputs. It gets multiplied by w1 and w2, w0. Here you are having two particular parts. The first part is the summation part and the second is the activation function. And then you get the output right over here. Then you get the output right over here, guys. Okay. Now taking a simple example or function to understand neural networks. Okay. So how can neural networks? So right over here, what we have done is we want to create a neuron. Okay, we want to create a neuron right over here that can take in an input, that is x1 is equals to a, x2 is equals to b, and we can predict the output right over here. So if it is 0 0, then we want the answer to be 0. Okay, we want the answer to, this is something wrong. Okay, so this is wrong. We'll put it the new answers right over here. So if the answer is if the input x1 and x2 is 0, we want the answer to be 0. If the input is 0 comma 1, we want the answer to be 1. If the answer is 1 comma 0, we want the answer to be 1. If the answer is 1 comma 1, we want the answer to be 1 once again. Okay, we want the answer to be 1 once again. So this is the input and the output. Okay, that we have x1 and x2. Okay, x1 and x2 right over here, and that is the output that we want. Okay, that is the output that we want. There is 0 1 1 and 1. These are the outputs that we want right over here. This is the OR gate that we have created right over here. This is the OR gate that we have created right over here. So these are the inputs and outputs that we want, and we want to create an gate for it. So right over here, what we have done is we are having, okay, so this values of w1 w2 and w0 that I have pre-computed for you guys. Okay, that we have pre-computed for you guys. Okay. So where does this value comes from? That is also something that we'll be learning about tomorrow. That how can we get these values of w1, w2 and w0? Okay. So right over here, as you are able to see, what I've done is w1, w2 and w0. I have provided you the value of, and the final equation that I'm able to build is g of -1 plus 1 times x1 plus 1 times x2. And g, as you are able to see, is this particular equation. Okay, g g is the step function, and this is the equation that we are having. Okay, this is the equation that we are having right over here, guys. So if you guys fill up the values, so if I am putting 0 and 0, okay, so what will be the answer, guys? The answer will come up, the summation will come up -1, and -1 as it is less than 0. -1 is as it is less than 0. The final answer will be equal to 0. So this value would be equal to 0, guys. So if it is 0 and 0, the value will always be equal to 0. Okay. Similar to that, if we are having the value as, okay, why is it always 0 and, okay, so I've done it in 3 steps. So 0 and 0 as the inputs we are calculating, the answer comes up to be -1. Okay, and -1, as you're able to see, if we are putting it up through the g of x, okay, we are putting it up through the g of x itself. So for -1, the answer comes up to be 0. So the final answer comes to be 0 itself. Similar to that, if you are putting up 1, okay, instead of 0, we are putting up 1 right over here. Okay, instead of putting up 0, we are putting 1 right over here. So 1 multiplied by 1 is 1, -1 plus 0, that is equals to 0 itself. And with step function, the value at 0 is equal to 1. Okay, the value at 0 is equals to 1, guys. So right over here, you will get the answer, final answer as 1. Okay, and similar to that, if you are taking up 1 and 1 once again, if you are taking 1 and 1, in that case, it will be -1 plus 1 plus 1, that is equals to 1. And for the value of 1, okay, the value would be 1 once again. So the final answer will be 1. So this particular values of W0, W1 and W2 is able to provide us with the OR gate. Okay, with the OR gate, guys. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know, guys. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know, guys. I'm creating the attendance sheet for today, guys. Give me a second. I am creating a question for today's attendance sheet as well. So I'm closing the display so that I'm able to create the question for today. Okay, so I've created the question as well for you guys. Let me rename the entire thing. So it will be day 4. We will keep this as day 4 once again. Okay, and responses, I've closed it up. Link QR, copy. See, I know most of you guys were not able to fill up the attendance form for yesterday, and the reason is pretty simple. You guys didn't knew the exact time that it is going to open up. Okay, so for that reason, most of you guys were not paying attention in the class, were not able to fill up the attendance form itself. No issues in that. I'm able to understand it. We will give you one more chance, but if we find you guys lacking in any of the classes anymore, if you're not able to answer the questions properly, we are not going to get you the certificates. One day we can understand it, due to some reason you were not able to do it, but if it is happening on a regular basis, if there is any other occurrence right over there, you are not going to get the certificates. Okay, so I will show you guys the attendance link right now. Give me a second. Attendance QR. So this is the attendance QR right over here, guys. Okay, this is the attendance QR right over here, guys. Okay, so thank you so much. We'll meet tomorrow once again at 6 o'clock. Okay, thank you so much, guys. Thank you.